my little goldies, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to episode 1 of the May color along with Anne Manera. This color along, if you watched my last haul video where I showed some Creative Haven books and a couple of other things, I announced a color along that's going to be happening on my channel and on my Facebook group in May. And it is featuring the artwork of the beautifully talented Anne Manera. So how this works is you can color anything from any of her books that you want to do, post it on Instagram or come over to my Facebook group and post it. It's on Color with Sharon and Friends. And the great thing about this is, number one, Anne is a super, super wonderful person. She is such a nice, sweet person. I adore her. And number two, she has many books out. I think she's got over 100 out now. With this one here that I'm showing now is her latest one, featuring a page from each of her books that she's published. And so the nice part is that she has something for everyone, I think. So if you're not familiar with her artwork, you can go to her website, and it's annemanera.com. I will link that in the description section of the video. I will also link this book on Amazon in the description section of the video. I am an Amazon affiliate, so anytime you purchase anything through any links that I provide, I get a small little commission back, which goes back in to help support the channel. You know, you've heard that song and dance before. And also I have an Amazon influencer store, so I will be adding this book. If I have not done so already, I will be adding this book to that influencer store. And you can go on that page and shop from different items that I really like. That's I always add to that regularly. So it's items that I love and think that is very worthwhile to get. So I will add this book to that influencer store. And I will also link Anne's website. You can get many of her books on Amazon. However, if you go to her website, you can order directly from her. You can get either hard copies, which is on CreateSpace paper, same thing, you know, with Amazon. Or if you don't like CreateSpace paper, you can get PDFs of many of her books, or you can also get spiral bound books with the images printed out on cardstock. So there are options if you don't like CreateSpace paper. But we're going to be coloring today out of Meraki. And let me show you the image that we are going to be coloring. I have a couple of white papers in between my pages to protect the next one. So we're just going to start out with this sort of easy mandala. Hi, Alex. We're going to start out with this sort of easy mandala. And we're going to be doing like a lot of blending and shading with this thing here. So let me just go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping before we actually get started. First of all, I'm going to be coloring with Polychromos today because Polychromos to me work very well on CreateSpace paper, and we can do a lot with them. Number two is I'm coloring with the visual impairment. So I do have a lot of new subscribers, and when you subscribe to my channel, you are called a Goldie. So I always start and end my video with hi my little goldies, or bye my little goldies. I always do that. And so when you subscribe to my channel, that's just what I call my subscribers, is Goldies, because I'm totally goners over golden retrievers. And so when you do that, then you become a Goldie, and I am Alpha Goldie. In case you don't know that. So that's the benefit for anybody that's new here. Plus, also I am coloring with a visual impairment, which means I have to get close to my work so I can see what I am doing. Those of you that have been around me for a while know that I say that on every video, but for you new folks, I always say that in case we get anybody new that pops in. And also for Anne's benefit too. I am coloring with the visual impairment, so I have to get pretty close to my work so I can see what I'm doing. So I try to keep my head out of the way as much as possible, but sometimes you're going to see my hair and stuff. I keep that tied back when I'm coloring because that does tend to get in the way. And also on camera, I tend to pick pictures that have bigger spaces, you know, to color on camera because it's easier for me to see. I'm not adverse to coloring in smaller spaces. It's just I do that off camera because the tinier it is, the closer I have to get to things. And so coloring with bigger spaces just makes it a lot easier for me to see. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm not going to pick a color palette. We're just going to have a little bit of fun with this today. And so we're just going to kind of color and just chat like we normally do. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so hopefully nothing will need to be sharpened, but we will take care of that if need be. All right, let me go ahead and zoom in so that we can see what we are doing. I'm going to lower the camera and we're going to just zoom in for a minute here. Okay, I'll put them down. And let me just lower this. And let's just zoom in just a little bit so we can see. Hopefully it's not gonna blur out too badly. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's good enough. All right, so anyway, it's been a little bit since I've actually done a little color and gab and everything, but this is gonna be episode 1 of the color along with featuring Anne's work. And so, okay, just get where we can see. So this is going to be episode 1 of the color along featuring Anne's work. So it's been a little bit since I've actually done a color and gab, so we're going to do a little bit of chatting. And so I want to thank everybody who participated in the Tim Jeff's color along. This is the one that I co-hosted with Anne from A Colorful Life. But that ended officially yesterday. I still need to do the slideshow of all the pictures, which I will do, but I wanted to go ahead and get this kicked off because I'm very, very excited about this color along. And Anne was also very excited when I told her, you know, what I wanted to do. I wanted to go ahead and get her permission to make sure that it was okay. Because I think a lot of people haven't heard of her. So I know she's got a very, very loyal following, but I wanted to make people aware of who she is, and you know, to let you guys know that she is an amazing artist, and I love her work. So I did want to go ahead and get this kicked off. I did do a flip through of this book, so be sure to go onto my channel and watch that flip through if you're interested in this book. Okay, so anyway, and I also have not forgotten about the song requests. For those of you that are new to my channel, I am a professionally trained singer. I'm a classically trained singer, and I will occasionally sing on my videos. However, I have to kind of do it in a roundabout way a little bit because when I am a YouTube partner, and so with me monetizing my videos, I have to kind of be careful because there's these like electricized, is that even a word? There's these bots out there that will go through each video and they'll look for stuff like snatches of music, and if they catch anything recognizable, then they will flag it as copyrighted material. So when that happens, it kind of puts me in danger of losing my YouTube partnership because, you know, too many flags of that, you know, they're gonna start looking at things. So what I tend to try to do is I'll break up the song into, I'll break up the phrasing of the song, and and then I have to, you know, then I have to do it that way, and it's inconvenient for me to do that. But in order for it not to get flagged, what I do is I'll sing a little bit, and then I'll like put some talking in there, or I'll kind of break it up a little bit. You know, that way it's not recognizable. So I haven't forgot about the song requests. There's been like 3 or 4 different song requests during the Tim Jeff's color along, and so I have not forgotten about that, and I will be getting to those. Just you know, just bear with me. I will be getting to those. So I will be getting to those. I haven't forgotten about them. I promise. And I think what I'm going to end up doing too is, I had talked about on one of my videos that, you know, because somebody was asking me, well, you know, how come Anne, not Anne Manera, but Anne from A Colorful Life, you know, how come Anne can sing out loud and clear and she doesn't get flagged by bots? Well, the long and short of it is that the reason I can't and Anne can is, the long and short of it is I stay on tune, I stay on pitch, and those bots will definitely recognize whatever song that I sing. So I have to break mine up. Whereas Anne, you know, from A Colorful Life, she does the karaoke version. So that's why she doesn't get flagged and I do. So what I decided that I'm gonna do, and I have to create it, is, and I'm definitely keeping this channel. This channel is not going anywhere, so don't panic, I promise. I'm going to make a whole new channel where it's just going to be me singing songs, you know, because I have my nice backing tracks and I have a pretty nice setup in the other room, so I can get away with doing that. So I'm going to make a whole new channel, or a different channel, another channel. You know, this one isn't going anywhere. We're still going to be doing the same things over here that we've been doing, but I am going to make another channel where it's just going to be me singing. Okay, so that is what we're going to do there. But I have to create it. I just have to find time and I have to create it. When I do, I will let everybody know when that happens. But I have to do that. I do have to do that. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking 3 different colors and I'm just going to try to blend and shade in this area here. And I'm just, you know what, like we're just going to take some time and we're just going to kind of layer all this stuff. You know, we're just going to do a few different layers and we're going to layer it. And we're going to do like a lot of blending and shading and stuff on this. Okay. So I'm taking just the 3 different colors and I'm just kind of doing like a circular motion. Okay, on these. Except for maybe around the edges, and I'm trying to get as close to that line as I can without going over. Oh boy, I sound like The Price is Right. Get as bid as close to the actual retail price without going over, and the person who does that is the winner. I guess The Price is Right is still on, but it's hosted by somebody new, because Bob Barker, I don't even know if he's still even kicking, but if he is, he's got to be pretty darn old, that one. But I remember Bob Barker hosting all that, and that show was on for decades and decades, and like I said, I think it still is, but it's hosted by somebody else. It's hosted by somebody else and all that, and I think, I don't know if they use different games or not, but I think they tried to keep around some of the old classics of that, but I mean, I have not watched it in like ages and ages and ages, The Price is Right. So I have no idea what they do on there now. Well, I mean, I have a pretty good idea because I don't think they changed the format of the show too much, because people probably wouldn't like that. But I just haven't watched it in a very long time. I think the last time I watched it was when Obama was president, and then the channel kept getting interrupted with the special news bulletins because he wanted to talk about like the economy and stuff, and I didn't want to listen to it. Yeah, it's kind of important to keep up with current events and stuff, but I just, you know, when I want to watch a TV show, when I want to watch a game show, when I want to watch what I want to watch, I want to watch it, and I don't want to be interrupted by news bulletins or special news reports or anything. Just let me watch my darn show. So, boy, these 2 darker colors are a little similar. Ah! Okay, get the eraser. You guys are going to see that I sometimes get out of the lines a lot. I try not to, but sometimes I do. Okay. Get that trusty Derwent electric eraser, and of course I erased part of what I shouldn't have. Okay, pardon me guys, I gotta get kind of close here so I can fix this. Alright. Alright, good enough I think. Good enough I think. So then I'm just gonna add some medium pressure just to kind of define it a little bit. So, what's everybody been up to? And I hope you all are going to be participating in this color along, because I am super excited about it, like I said. And I am going to be a guest on Anne's show tomorrow, on Anne Manera's live show tomorrow. She does live events on her Facebook group, and her Facebook group is called Anne Manera's Coloring Books for All. I will try to find it and link it in the description section so you can go and join it. Is it a group or is it a page? Anyway, I will link in the description section so you can go and follow that. But for Wednesday, May 3rd, I am going to be a guest on her live show. She does a live event on Wednesday. She also does it on Tuesday. She does more of a color along on Tuesdays. And then, you know, she streams. It's a live event. She streams. And, but tomorrow for her event, I will be a guest on there because she's going to talk about the color along. She'll talk about the color along. And yeah, so come on over and join us for that. It will be a lot of fun, I'm thinking. Try to get rid of those harsh lines right there. Now sometimes when I need to, I will grab like either a Prismacolor blender marker, colorless blender marker, or I'll grab some Gamsol oil, but we're just going to try to blend with the pencils today, and I think it's going to work out well. Just layer it, keep layering it, and keep going over it, and it should be okay. But I find that my Polychromos work really well on this Create Space paper. Okay. I'm just going to try to get rid of those harsh lines right there. Okay, so there is our center circle. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same colors and just kind of go around this band. And I think I'm just going to use 2 colors. So this one I think I'm going to go ahead and put back. Yeah. Let's see, that one will go back in here in my case. Now, I have my Polychromos in my pencil case. I don't keep them in the original tin. Let me just show them to you. I have them in this case right here. And it's this sort of aqua colored case, kind of a deal. All right, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take the circular band right here, and I'm just gonna go over some of this like with the darker color, and then we're gonna blend in the lighter color on this one. So we're just gonna start by going just kind of light, and we'll go around like where I want it to go. So anyway, like I was asking, what is everyone up to? What are you all coloring? That is always the age-old question. That is always the age-old question. So, and what are you guys reading? Are you guys reading anything special? I am currently reading the Mystic Creek series by Catherine Anderson. She is a romance author, and I thoroughly enjoy her books, and I am on the 4th one right now. She's got 4 books in this series. I think the 5th one is going to be coming out like in October. So I am reading those books at the moment. The Mystic Creek series by Catherine Anderson. And I have to kind of flip the book just a little bit because that way I can get in where I need to go. So that is what I am currently reading at the moment. And I just started that one last night. I finished up book 3 yesterday afternoon, and then I just started the 4th one last night. I was going to try to get in some Sims playing, but I didn't manage it. I ended up on the phone quite a bit yesterday. I was talking with Stephanie, and I talked a lot with her, and I was talking with Katrina last night. We were having some issues because she had asked me to do a job for her, like she wanted me to send her a few things, and so we were trying to work out, she paid me for them, and so we were trying to work out, like she thought she sent me the money on PayPal, and I think she either misspelled my email address or something. Anyway, something happened, and so I never got the money. So we were trying to go over that over the phone, and so she had to wait until her you know, until she got her refund, because like when you cancel something, because she canceled the original transaction, and then when you cancel something on PayPal, you have to wait for it to, you have to wait for the refund to show up. So, and I said, hey, no rush. I said, don't worry about it. I said, I am in no hurry, you know. I said, I'll get this prepared and sent out to you. So she's the one that I bought the Arteza brush pens from. So, but we become very, very good friends, and so I've been talking with her over the phone quite a lot, and so we were trying to work out the whole PayPal thing yesterday. And you have to be careful. You have to really be careful, because like there's some scammers out there. Like, I sent her some money for the, you know, when I bought the Arteza brush pens and the fine liners and stuff from her. You know, when I sent her some money, she never got it. And I knew that I had sent it to the right place, and it showed up on my thing. You know, it showed up where, you know, where I sent her the money, but she never got it. And so she, well, the long and short of it is that she called the customer service, or what she thought was customer service. It was the number that she got off of Google. Well, she ended up almost getting scammed, because, you know, the guy on the line told her, and he's, and I'm going to go into this whole scamming thing in just a minute, but, you know, he told her, you know, the guy on the phone told her, well, go to Walgreens and get an iTunes gift card, and then call me back and give me the number and blah blah blah, you know, I'll redeem it, whatever. And so when she told me about this, it sounded very, very fishy. And I said, Katrina, I wouldn't do that. I said there's something fishy about that. And her daughter told her the same thing. You know, she's like, Mom, that's, you know, iTunes is music. And, you know, Katrina, poor Katrina, she's not very tech savvy. And she's actually admitted this to me, but she's not very tech savvy. And, you know, so she wasn't sure what was going on, you know, and you know, her daughter says, Mom, that's music. And I, you know, when she was telling me about all this, like after it happened, I said, Katrina, don't do that. I said, you know, that sounds very fishy. And, well, then she realized that she almost got scammed, and so so then she found the real number for customer service and stuff. And, but you got to be careful, because like they will scam you. They will scam you so hard. And like this didn't have anything to do with PayPal. Like, somebody tried to scam me once, and, quite a few times I would get these phone calls from supposedly Microsoft, and they would say, your computer is sending personal messages, you know, unwanted messages to our company, and you know, there's something wrong with your computer, blah blah blah. We can help you fix it. Well, the first time they called, I was like, oh crap, you know, because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh crap, you know. Well, now I have a Mac, okay? I have a Mac, but I am able to run Windows 7 through Boot Camp, because when I play my Sims, I have to have Windows, because it doesn't work very well on the Mac. So I have Windows in order for me to play my Sims, you know, to play some games, and also that's usually where I do most of my video editing, although I've also used iMovie on the Mac. But so anyway, the first time when they called, it was a couple years ago, I was like, oh crap, you know, that doesn't sound good at all. So I went through like a bunch of like stuff on the computer that they were telling me. And I told them up front, I said, I am not spending any money. I said, I am not buying any software. And so then when they got when they got down to the end of it, you know, they tried to talk me into buying the software to, you know, and getting like a monthly membership to something. And I said, I'm not going to do it. I told you up front that I'm not going to buy anything. And they're like, well, but ma'am, and they were like being really pushy about it. And so I hung up. And I turned my computer off, you know, just in case they tried to get control of my computer. I turned it off. And I did some research on it. And I should have, you know what, like I should have figured it out, because like when they call me at like 6:30 in the morning, I should have realized that something was up. And it was this guy that had this accent. He sounded like he was from India or someplace like that. So when I did some research, you know, then I realized that he was a scammer. And I was coming to that conclusion anyway, like toward the end of things, you know. And so then when they called again, I said, you know, when I found out for sure that it was a scam, I said, funny you should say that. I said, I run on a Mac. And then click, you know, they hung up. I said, I run on a Mac. You don't need to call me again. And they tried it, like, you know, there's others that tried it. And sorry for having to flip the book, but yeah. So they tried it a few more times on me, like, you know, over time. And I just say, funny you should say that, because I run on a Mac. And this was before we actually got caller ID instated on our phone, on our landline. I never got it on my cell phone. Well, I have caller ID on my cell phone, but I never got those scam calls on my cell phone, thank goodness. So when we got caller ID on our landline, you know, if I don't recognize the number, then I don't pick it up. And it was funny because during Anne's live event, not from A Colorful Life, but Anne Manera, during Anne Manera's live event this morning, you know, the color along thing that she does every week on her group, on this event, like we were talking about that. We were talking about scammers and stuff. And so I was telling them about that, you know, about how I'd get these calls from supposedly Microsoft, saying that there was something wrong with my computer. And then I said, you know, I run on a Mac. And then Anne, you know, Anne Manera, she was saying that, you know, she got that too. And she says, like, when they told her to open the window, like, you know, because she has a Mac as well. And she said that when they told her to open the window, she says, well, I did, but the only thing that really did for me was it gave me fresh air in my house. So that totally cracked me up. I mean, oh my gosh, like I was dying. I was dying when she was talking about that. I was cracking up so bad. It was so funny. So I was laughing. I was laughing so hard. Well, I opened the window, but the only thing it did was it gave me fresh air in my house. And she said the guy got so annoyed. I was like, good. You deserve to get annoyed after you try to scam people. You deserve it. And then another thing I heard that scammers will try to do, like if they're going to scam you, they'll call and they'll say, can you hear me? Or can you hear me okay? Or can you hear me? And they try to get you to say yes, because like they will record you saying yes. And when they have you recorded as saying yes, they will use that as permission to lock you into whatever that they're trying to sell you. And if you try to fight it or something, like afterwards, like if you try to fight it and say, well, you know, I didn't order that, or I didn't pay, you know, I'm not paying for that, then they have you on recording saying yes, and they will use that. They will use that as leverage. And they will use that to lock you into whatever BS that they're trying to you know, that they're trying to give you. So you got to be careful out there. You really do. You've really got to be careful. You've really got to be careful. Oh. Now this was something old that happened.
Okay, guys, we're
bad.
a long time ago.
My camera cut off on me. It cuts off on me after like every 29 minutes, and sometimes I lose track of that time.
This was before
so anyway, we've got
really
this
like
middle part here done with the blues, and then I did this circular band right there with the blues and just kind of did some shading. So we're going to grab a couple of other colors and we're going to begin another section. So anyway, what I was talking about before I so rudely got cut off, let me just adjust that. So what I was talking about before I so rudely got interrupted was I was talking about how back in the, I was talking about the scammers. And back in the 90s, now this is before cell phones, got really popular. Sometimes you would have maybe a flip phone in your car or something, but, nothing real major, okay? So most people still use their landlines because cell phones just weren't really that, the thing to get. They were still expensive, and most of the plans, would still charge you by the minute for the service. So anyway, back in the 90s, what's called slamming was real popular, and it was done by, the different phone companies. We had, I think the three main phone companies were Sprint, AT&T, and MCI. And MCI was very, 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 MCI was very well known for their slamming. And so what they would do is they would call you, like they do phone solicitations, and they would try to get you to sign up for their long distance plan. We can save you this amount of money, we can save you all kinds of money, so forth. So what would happen is, you would end up signing up for their long distance service, right? And but what would happen is that you would get the bill, because this happened to us. We got slammed, and the Lions Club that we were in at the time, we've since transferred clubs, but the club that we were in at the time, they had their own they had their own meeting hall. They had their own place to meet. It was their own hall, and that's where they'd have the meetings. So what would happen is, like, you would sign up for their long distance plan, and you would get the bill, and it would show you as signing up for the plan long before you even signed up for it. Like, for example, we got called one day, and they're like, oh, we can save you this money, blah blah blah, this and that, we can save you all this money. And so we bought into it. Like, we were stupid. I mean, we were stupid, but we bought into it, not knowing what was going to happen. We bought into it, and let me tell you, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So what ended up happening was we got the bill, and the bill was just like sky high. It was so expensive. And so we called up, we called up to question it. And come to find out, they had us having signed up for that plan a week before we even signed up for it. Like, they predated it. So we were paying for all this long distance with them that we shouldn't have been paying for with them. So we had to go through a whole lot of rigmarole to get back with, to get back on with AT&T, because and this is MCI that took us for this ride. So we went through all this rigmarole to get, to get that situation rectified. So I mean, you got to be careful. You got to be careful, because let me tell you what, we are living in a dishonest world. We are living in such a dishonest world, and it's sad. It really is. It's very sad, but you got to be careful. You really do. You got to be careful, because there are people out there that will take you for a ride. Okay. I'm just trying to blend these two colors together. Okay, then I'm going to take the darker color. I'm going to add just some medium pressure just to define it a little bit more. Kind of burnish it in there just a little bit. Oops. Okay. And I'll take this one. And it was funny because when I was watching Anne Manera's live color along today on her Facebook page, or on her Facebook group or whatever, she was coloring with crayons. She went old school and she was coloring with crayons. And so people were talking about coloring with crayons and stuff. And I said I once did a Crayola crayon challenge. And what happened was, and I came up with this story about how Bellatrix Lestrange sent a whole army of Cornish pixies to take away my beautiful coloring books and my beautiful supplies, right? And so they left me with just one book. And they left me a box of crayons, and I could not have my gorgeous stuff back until I completed a page with just Crayola crayons. And so I did this Crayola challenge, and I had to complete this one page with Crayola crayons. And then the pixies would bring back my books and my pencils and stuff. So. And then I had said it was a Harry Potter reference, the Cornish pixies and Bellatrix Lestrange, because not everybody reads Harry Potter, so I wanted to make sure that that they knew where it was coming from. So I said this is a Harry Potter reference, and Anne Manera, she says I never read Harry Potter. She says I was never a fan, and so my husband, he's in there listening to it with me because we were having our espresso. He was listening to it with me. He says, hey, I like you, lady. He says, I like you, lady. So I typed in that comment. I said, my husband likes you because you're not a Harry Potter fan. And, because he hears it from me all the time. Like, I'm always, talking about Harry Potter. Especially, when the movies were coming out and stuff. So he wanted me to tell Anne. He says, I like you, lady. So I typed that in there. She was laughing. So then she says, well, we can just have our own fantasy. She says, as long as it has, what'd she say, puppies? Somebody said puppies, Reiki, and something else. I forget. Puppies, Reiki, and pencils, I think it was. And so I was cracking up. I was cracking up. It was funny. It was funny. So I'm just trying to layer these two colors and blend them together, and trying to get rid of a lot of this white space, because I hate, oh my gosh, I hate white space with pencils. You see the white kind of coming through there? So I'm going to try to layer it and see if I can get it to blend. If, if need be, I will take my Prismacolor marker to it. I can always do that. I don't have my Gamsol oil handy. But I'll see if I can get it to blend with just layering, or try to get the white spots out of it with just the layering and stuff. Because for me, Create Space paper is very notorious for this. Oh, especially with grayscale. Oof. Grayscale and Create Space paper, I struggle with that. I kid you not, I struggle with that. But Anne, not Anne from A Color for Life, but Anne Manera. So when I say Anne, like in these color along videos, I'm usually talking about Anne Manera. And when I say Anne, it's going to mean Anne Manera, for these color alongs, unless I say differently. So Anne, she says that she hasn't really had a problem with the Create Space paper. So she doesn't mind it. She's one of those that doesn't mind it. But I know many, many, many of you hate it. Cannot stand it, hate it. And I understand. You like what you like and you hate what you hate. I get it. But I'm going to, I try to make this work because, like I said, in my flip through of this book, I said, if I love the artwork, I will get the book. And I will I will work with it, you know. Even if it means like putting it onto some cardstock or something, because I could do that, but I will try to work with it right here in the book. I feel like these two colors are a little similar, but we'll get it to work. Get rid of the harsh lines right there. Okay. I'm just coloring like all these petals with these two colors here. And sorry for having to flip the book quite a bit, but that is what we do. So sometimes what I'll do is sometimes I'll put the dark down first, or sometimes I'll put the light down first. Depends on what I'm in the mood for or what I'm trying to achieve, you know. So I don't do tutorials because I'm not really an art teacher. This is just how I color. This is just how I color. So I'm just doing a real light layer right now on this. And then I'll go over it some more. So, how has everybody been doing? I hope you are all having a great week. The weather here is simply gorgeous. It has been simply gorgeous the last couple of days. And so we've got little birdies out singing out in the yard, and we've also got my wind chimes going off. It's not really a windy day, but the wind is stirring it enough that it's making my wind chimes go off. So you may hear my wind chimes from time to time, which is awesome. I love wind chimes. I love wind chimes. So you'll hear them from time to time going off. But the doggies are doing good. The doggies are doing real good. Mr. Creaky, which, you know, that's Caleb, you know, we sometimes call him Creaky because, you know, he's got arthritis and stuff in his joints. And he's been moving just a little bit slow the last couple of days. Not really like today or anything, but like yesterday he moved a little slow because my husband took both him and Alex for a walk on Sunday. They went for a walk, and then they also went last night, you know, because it was so pretty. He took them last night, too. And poor Sheena, because, like, he can't really walk all three of them. He can't really walk all three of them, and I didn't go because I wasn't in the mood. And I pretty much, like, hung out in my nightie all day yesterday. I have days like that where I just want to hang out in my nightie. Because, like I said, I wanted to get some Sims in, which I didn't really get too much of that in, and I wanted to just sort of hang out, you know. So I hung out in my nightie all day yesterday. So I wasn't in the mood to go for a walk, so I stayed home. And besides, like, when he was going, I was on the phone with Katrina. I was talking to Katrina. So anyway, he can't walk all three of them at once. Like, he tried it one time, and it was a bit of a pain. So he takes the boys, like he'll take Caleb and Alex, he takes the boys, and poor Sheena, you know, she doesn't get to go, so she always knows what's going on, and so she threw a little fit yesterday, like she threw a little temper tantrum, you know, like a little kid, you know, it's kind of like when you know, when you got little kids and like one of them gets to go somewhere and the other one doesn't get to go, and the one that has to stay home throws a fit, you know, that was Sheena. She was throwing a fit yesterday, and I felt bad. I felt bad. So, poor girl, I felt bad, but yeah. And then for dinner last night, I just threw in a couple of pot pies. Like we get the we get the pot pies from the store. We just pop them in the oven, and we had that last night. Nothing fancy, nothing major. And I know, like, you can make pot pie from scratch, but Me gets a little bit too lazy sometimes. Yeah. Okay. So by burnishing this a little bit, you know, we get rid of a lot of that white space in there, or the white, you know, the white, you know, that the white that gets kind of left behind in there with the pencils. So I've been just kind of layering it like real lightly, and I should have picked, you know what, I should have picked two colors that weren't so similar, because I kind of feel like these are a little bit similar, but you still get some shading with it. You can still see it, so that's good. Move that camera slightly. Okay. So today, not really doing too much today, just trying to get some filming done. I did the flip through of this book earlier today, and it should be up on the channel long before this one gets up there. I've got that edited and rendered, so I will be getting that uploaded this afternoon. You guys will be seeing that. And then I'm going to try to get this video uploaded this evening. Get it edited and uploaded this evening. Because I definitely want to have the kickoff to this color along happening. On the first day it's going to be happening. Yippee skippy. Okay. So I hope everybody is having a great week and that it's started to warm up where you are. It's now acting like spring, which is what it was supposed to do long before this. This year has been crazy as far as weather goes. It's been just nuts. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It's been nuts. And I think this year, like this year and maybe the end of last year, like I'm talking maybe in 2017, but I think this year has been just like one of the worst for flu and pneumonia and colds and stuff that's been happening. And like I had my share of it, because you know, back in February I was sick as a dog with it. Like I was down for about a month with it. The first 2 weeks was just torture. I had that real nasty flu that was going around, and you name like whatever symptom, I had it. And it was funny because like I had gone to the dentist last week. I had to go get a filling. And Alex is dreaming. Could you guys hear him? Could you guys hear him? But anyway, last Wednesday, I had gone to the dentist because I had to get a filling, and we were talking about the flu that had been going around, and because I was asking him, I said, there's this gal that works there, her name's Kelly, and I was saying, you know, because she's the one that usually helps with the, you know, with the fillings and stuff. I said, so where's Kelly, Welly? Because I'm always like teasing her, you know, I'm always teasing her, and she's the one that always cracks up at my like zombie imitation, and oh gosh, we tease each other something terrible. So I said, well, where's Kelly, Welly? Because you know somebody else was back there, and he says, oh, she's sick. She's got a cold and bronchitis. And I said, oh God. I said, that's terrible. So then I proceeded to tell him about this flu that I got, and I said, you name whatever symptom I had. I said I had anything from the cough, the sniffles, the body aches, to all the way up to the tummy troubles. I mean, you name it, I had it. He says, well, did you get the purple spots? I said, no, I didn't get purple spots. He says, well, at least we know it's not the attack of the purple people eaters then. And I laughed because I remember that song. Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had one long horn and one big eye. I forget the lyrics to it. Something about looking at him and said, ooh wee, it looks like a purple people eater to me. It had a one, let's see, how does that go? Holy cow. Oh crap, now I'm like blanking on the lyrics. It had a one-eye, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. We wear short shorts. Friendly purple people eater. What a sight to see. Oh, man. Oh, shoot. And you know what? And that song always cracks me up. Like, we were trying to do it on karaoke night one time, and I couldn't get through without laughing, and there were some of us that couldn't because the voices that were on the backing track, and if you listen to the original song, you get like those silly little voices on there, and it's so funny. Like, we can't get through it without cracking up. And there was a karaoke website that I still belong to it. Like, I still have my membership and stuff, but it's been a while since I've done anything with it. But years and years ago, like this was maybe, my gosh, like maybe 10 years ago, and they had these crazy songs on there like Purple People Eater, They're Coming to Take Me Away. They're coming to take me away, ha ha, hee hee, ho ho, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ah! You know, anybody remember that thing? So anyway, you know, we had I think it was a theme one day, and we had to sing all these different crazy songs, and it turned out so funny, and it turned out to be such a popular thing. And so, we all got to laughing so hard and trying to sing these silly songs, and they told me like I was the craziest one of them all. Which I am not surprised. So I ended up being the driver of the crazy bus. I ended up being the driver of the crazy bus, and oh my gosh, we had such, and you know what, like it was supposed to just be a daily theme, but we had so much fun with it that we ended up having like a thread. We ended up starting a thread on the forums on the site where all we did was like, we were like, it was just all about singing these crazy songs. And that went on for a long time. We had a great time with that. It was a lot of fun. Oh gosh, it was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm gonna flip the book back over. Okay. You know, actually, let me see. I think I'm gonna do it this way. Sorry guys, I can't make up my mind. I can't make up my mind, but I want to be sure that I can get it in such an angle that I can see what I'm doing, and you guys can actually see what I'm coloring. So, yeah, going back to what I was talking about before, I told the dentist that I had this flu for about going on a month, and so then yeah, it was we were just talking about just how nasty and mean that flu was. And I hope to not catch anything like that again, because it was terrible. It was awful. Awful, 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 awful stuff going on. But this year has just been really bad for stuff like that, because I think a lot of it is the weather that we've been having. Like the weather that we've been just having, it's been just, ew. It's been not so great weather. So I hope everybody's been able to keep healthy, and I hope you guys can enjoy this nice weather if you're having nice weather. It's like, what does my watch say? It is like 83 degrees today according to my watch. I have an Apple Watch. There we go. I have an Apple Watch, and so the face that I have on this Apple Watch, it has the weather on it. So it's going to be shorts and t-shirt today. Definitely if I wasn't hanging out in my nightie all day yesterday, I would have been in my shorts and t-shirt, but that's what's going to be today, is shorts and t-shirt. I don't really have much going on today. Like I said, just wanting to film. Just trying to film this stuff. And so I did the flip through of Meraki. I think that's how you pronounce the word. And then I'm filming this color along. Part 1. Yep. Ooh, I got out of that line. Ew. Why didn't you guys tell me I was coloring out of the line? Why didn't you guys say anything to me? You guys didn't say anything to me. And so I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the day. I can tell you kind of what, what's been going on lately. This coming up weekend, we have our fountain pen show. We have the Chicago Pen Show, and that happens every year around this time. And so basically it is a whole weekend where, and mostly it's fountain pens that are being featured. There's different vendors that bring their wares to the show, and they will try to sell what they have. So there's a lot of buying and selling going on. And most of it is vintage fountain pens. Like most of it is like fountain pens like from, back in the day when fountain pens were actually a utility instead of a, collector's item. I mean, there's some modern day stuff too, because they do make modern fountain pens too. But most of the time it is vintage, and oh my gosh, we find a lot of nice stuff. We totally do. I just don't like how that looks right there. So that's going to be coming up this weekend. I think I'm going to sharpen my pencils because maybe it needs a sharper point to get right at the edge of that line. So what we're going to be doing is for Thursday, we normally just would go up there on Saturday and Sunday, but we're going to go up on Thursday night. Thursday night is a pizza party, and they're going to have like, it has like wine and beer with it too. So it's pizza with wine and beer, and other drinks if you don't like, that stuff. You can get soft drinks or whatever too, obviously. But we're going to go up for that. But we heard that mostly it's for the vendors, but we heard that if you go up there, you can often find a good deal, before the actual show opens, like for the general public. So we're going to go up there this year and see what that's about. Our Lions Club meets on that night too. So normally we go to our Lions Club meeting, but I told John, I said, let's go up to this. I said, we've never been up to that, to the Thursday night deal. I said, let's go up to that because I think it would be fun. And, oh, and also, yeah, there we go. That's better. And also, being it's like the first Thursday of the month, it's board meeting night. And yeah, we sit on the board, we always go to that. Like, I don't think we've really missed a one. But I told John, I said, we can go to that. And we kind of hate board meeting nights because like the board meeting happens after the regular meeting. And we kind of hate board meeting nights because it really makes for a long night. I mean, on those nights, like we have our regular meeting that starts at 6:30. And then sometimes that doesn't even get over until like maybe 8:30. So then we have our board meeting, and there's times that we don't even get home until close to 11 o'clock at night. So it's like we're leaving at 6, maybe even a little bit before 6 to get up there, on time for the start of the meeting. And then we're not even getting home until like close to 11 o'clock at night. And it gets just a little bit ridiculous. And so I told John, I said, you know what, they can survive without us for a night. I said, let's go to that. Because I've not been up to it before, and I'd like to go to it. Now Friday night is a live auction, which we're really not interested in. That's like some really, really high-end stuff that goes for some big, big, big bucks. Excuse me. That's like some high-end stuff that goes for some big bucks. So we're not going to do anything for Friday, and then we're going to go up on Saturday and probably on Sunday too. So that's what's going to be happening this weekend. So I'm probably not going to get too much coloring in for the weekend. What I'm going to try to do is I will try to get some videos filmed ahead of time. That way I've got something to upload for you guys for the weekend, you know, and just kind of schedule it for the, you know, for a weekend upload. I will try my best to do that. And then we have got, what else? That's what's going to be happening this weekend. I got kind of a orange color and a yellow color. We're going to color around what we just did. So anyway, that's what's going to be happening this weekend with our pen show. And then last Saturday, I'm trying to think what we did during the week. Last Saturday, we had to go to a dinner. It was a fundraising gala for a organization that our Lions Club supports. So they had a fundraising gala, and so the, you know, one of the sponsors, you know, actually bought the, you know, the, what do you call it, you know, bought tickets to go to it, and so then, you know, they needed to find some people to go, you know, to sit there, and so we were, we said we would go to it, so we did. We went to it, and yeah, we went to it, and so we had a good time Saturday night. So we went there on Saturday night. It was where it was located. It took us about an hour to get to go to it. We had a good time. The food was pretty decent. It was a dinner. The food was pretty decent, and the service was really nice. You know, at the dinner, and then you know, there was some inspirational words said, and of course there was a live auction with like they were auctioning off like some trips and stuff. We didn't buy anything, but we it was fun seeing what everybody else did. It was fun seeing what everybody else did. Okay, so then I'm just going to take the two colors and we're going to try to blend them together. Okay. Just some slight shading here going on that I want to do, or some blending. And that's really about all, you know, what all went on. Except we're just, you know, we're going to have a busy weekend this coming up weekend. Okay. And we'll probably end up coming back with lots of fountain pens. I told John, I said I definitely want to go shopping for some ink. And journals. Anderson Pens usually comes. Anderson Pens are from Appleton, Wisconsin. And they always bring, you know, they always stock paper blanks journals. And so they bring these beautiful, beautiful paper blanks journals. And so I usually end up buying up a lot of their stock. I mean, I don't buy everything, but I end up buying a significant lot of them. You know, because then I don't have to pay for shipping and stuff, and sometimes it gets marked down just a little bit, you know, for pen show prices, but not, you know. And they always bring a lot of ink. So I know I'm going to be doing quite a bit of shopping there because I do want to get some more ink. And I want to see what they got for journals this year, of course. And of course I will be looking for fountain pens. Because when I do my journaling, I always use a fountain pen, always. So I'm more of a paper snob when it comes to fountain pen usage than I am, like, say, for coloring books. I mean, I like, you know, I'm like anybody else. I like a good quality paper for coloring books, you know, for coloring on. But I'm more of a I can forgive it a little bit more with a coloring book than I can with like a fountain pen paper, fountain pen stuff. When it comes to fountain pen stuff, like for using my fountain pens, I must have good paper. That's just how I feel about it. Because it's kind of hard to do justice, you know, when you don't have good quality paper when you're messing with your fountain pens. I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes there's no choice. And like if you're out and about and you have to use whatever they got on hand, then you have to. But like when you're bringing your own stuff and when you're at home, like writing in your journals or doing whatever, then yeah, you can control what you write on. So for me in fountain pens, like I have to have good paper for when I'm doing my serious fountain pen writing. What I mean by that is like for my journals and like if I'm going to write a letter, I'll use a fountain pen, and then when I do that, then I have to have good paper to do that on. So that is a must. I can forgive it more in coloring books, but not with fountain pen usage. I must have good paper when I'm doing my serious fountain pen work. Okay. This is going to look pretty, guys, I think. I really think it is. Yeah. Now I'm thinking I might put a background on this thing. This is screaming acrylic paint at me. So this video may be just a little bit longer because I do want to finish up. Actually, I might just do this in 2 parts, I think. I'm probably going to do this in 2 parts. I'll do this part right here, and then we'll come back and we'll do part 2 of this. And then I'll finish up the mandala, and we'll put some acrylic paint on this bad boy. So that's what's going on with me as far as what's been happening. So we're just gonna try to get through the fountain pen show because it's coming up this weekend. And so I'm probably not going to be able, after that, I'm probably not going to be able to do a haul for a while because I have a feeling that, because we do this every year, I have a feeling that we're going to end up doing a lot of fountain pen shopping. I have that feeling because that happens to us every year. Yeah, and I don't think this year is going to be any exception. So that's my big news, is we're very stoked for the fountain pen show. And tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to be Anne's guest for her live show tomorrow. This is Anne Manera, like I said. So I will link all that in the description section, and it's going to happen at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so that's going to be 9 o'clock Central Time, which Central Time is my time, but 10 o'clock Eastern is when it's going to be happening. So I hope you'll think about coming over to watch. And we're not going to be on video or anything. I mean, she's going to probably color on video, but like for me, it's just like for us talking, like she herself isn't going to be on video. Like she doesn't show her face, and I'm not going to be on video. So we're just going to be talking. But she's probably going to be coloring on camera. But I'm going to be a guest on her show tomorrow, which I am super excited about. So that's tomorrow, Wednesday, May 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern over on Anne's page. It is Anne Manera's Coloring Books for All. I will try to find all that and link it in the description section so that you guys can see that. Okay, got to flip the book again. Very sorry about that. Let's see. Let me try to get where we can see it. Okay. So I hope to see a lot of you over there because that will be fun. And so she's going to talk about the color along. Now, like I said, and I said this in my haul video, and I think I said this through the flip through, if you don't like the Create Space paper and if you don't want to order her books on Amazon, she has many of them available on PDF. However, you have to order them right from her website, which is annemanera.com. If you don't want a PDF, however, you can also get spiral bound copies of her books. And those are printed on cardstock paper. It's kind of like, it sounds like I don't have any of those, but it sounds like it's going to be quite a bit like the Color It books, like if you're familiar with Color It. Or like if you have a book from Jennifer Stay, because that's how she prints hers, is spiral bound and on cardstock. You know, whatever paper you decide. But if you don't want Create Space paper, and if you don't like PDFs where you have to print it off yourself, you can get the spiral bound ones with the cardstock. Now keep in mind that those are going to be a little bit more pricey because with the spiral binding and the cardstock. With the spiral binding and the nicer paper, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, so just make sure that you are aware of that. But if you're not one that's into Create Space paper, and if you don't want a PDF, then it's something you might want to consider. Okay. So I think we're going to be almost done with part 1 here, and we'll finish this up in part 2 because I don't want like a 2-hour-long video because that tends to get a little bit long. I try to keep my videos around like an hour, like around between 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it goes over just a little bit, but I do try to keep it. Where it's not like, you know, an hour and a half or 2 hours or something, you know, like that. So I think we'll finish up this one section, and then I think we will call it a day for now, and then part 2 will be uploaded, or I will have to make a part 2. But I will do that. Part 1 I'm hoping I can get uploaded by this evening. But you will see the flip through of this book first because I will get that uploaded this afternoon. So watch out for the flip through first of all, and then part 1 will be uploaded this evening. Okay. Okay, so we're getting there on this. Sorry for the silence. My wind chimes are going off a little bit, and there they go again. I don't know if you guys can hear them. I hope you can. It is like the perfect day. It is a perfect day. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the orange and just kind of go in this way. Color in the little spots right there. There's one here that I missed. Okay. There's that one. Okay, so here is what we have so far. Let me just zoom out just a little bit so we can see a little bit more of this. So here's what we have so far of this design, and it is from Meraki. Meraki, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Anne Manera. This is her newest book that she has out, and here is what we have so far with this design. I think it's going to come out really nice, and we'll finish up the second half of it in part 2, and then I think we'll add some acrylic paint to the background, and I think it'll look really pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video for the part 1 of the Color Along with Anne Manera for the month of May. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll come back in part 2 and we will just continue where we left off, and I think I'm going to use these same colors again. So we'll continue where we left off in this book. So be sure that you keep on watching and keep on coloring. If you have not done so already, subscribe to this channel, but better yet, hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos, and by subscribing, you become a Goldie. And don't forget to comment and tell me what you think. Hit that like button, of course, because that definitely helps me out on YouTube, and the more likes I get, the more exposure it will get. And the more exposure this gets, the more exposure Anne Manera gets. So definitely do that. That will help us both out. I think I said leave a comment, and I will link all the pertinent information in the description section of this video. Anything from my Facebook group to my Amazon influencer store to the direct link to this. I will also link Anne Manera's page as well as her group in the description section, so you can check her out. And that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Okay, bye my little goldies.